Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Inside their mouth, truth to know day. Inside their eyes, corruption day. Inside their heart, wickedness day. Once they get into power, now when to then go gain. Now in their brain, then we type one man will change. In the name of change, why? Change, change, change. They combine those with change. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. If they say make you vote for them, make you look well. If they say make you vote for them, make you shine your eyes, oh. Them promise us water, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. We not they get water. Yes. They promise us light, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. We not they see the light. At all. They promise us road, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. Jaga road we dey see. Yes. So promise then they make. When election done they come to deceive the
there was another instance where a lion ate some money in a zoo in Kano. The zookeeper alleged that, no, it was not a lion, it was an ape that looted 6.5 million naira in the zoo during the Eid el-Kabir in Kano. There was also the instance of the 70 million that was stolen in a senator's farm. Senator Abdullahi Adamu, the present national APC chairman, monkeys looted 70 million in his farm. And today, the Nigerian police is handicapped to arrest and prosecute those monkeys. Then we also had this recent instance. I think this is the biggest in the heist by members of the animal kingdom, where documents that was used to spend 17 billion 150 million was eaten up, was gobbled up. And I believe when they were eating it, they also took bottles of champagne, because you can't eat 17 billion and not drink champagne on top of it. Were eaten up by termites. I mean, today in Abuja, we have the richest termites in the world. You can't doubt it. They are the most well-fed, most empowered termites in the world. Termites that ate up 17 billion of invoices of our national expenditure. Like you rightly said, for you to have any kind of access to economic empowerment in Nigeria today, you have to be a member of the animal kingdom. Yeah. Don't forget that sometime 2018, rats, a group of rats, united among themselves and achieved what the youth of Nigeria and NSAS protesters could not achieve. They drove the president out of his office.
Okay. Oh, yes, that is true. Yes.
So this is, a reflection of the competence that the animal kingdom have displayed, that those of us in the human kingdom have not been able to displace. The Homo sapiens is the highest form of evolution. Humans are the Homo sapiens, but you are seeing the competency of the Homo erectus, that's the apes and the monkeys, you see on both sides. Then you are seeing those of the snakes, you are seeing those of, the rats. I mean, the rat chased the president out and they had to spend some billions combating the rats. Let me not exaggerate, some millions combating the rats, so that they will put them at bay. Even the bandits and the AK-47 that threatened to kidnap the president could not access the president. But rats drove the president out of his office. So this is where we have found ourselves, and it is a shame that animals are taking over in Nigeria. But on a more serious note, it goes to underpin the quantity of corruption, the quantum of civil service corruption. Usually when we talk of corruption, we look at the political elites. But these recent occurrences goes to underpin the collusion between the civil service, the civil servants, and the political class in looting this country blind, in removing the resources of this country, in appropriating the resources of this country, should I say misappropriating and expropriating the resources of this country to their personal and selfish interest. And guess what? The anti-corruption Caesar, the man we voted based on his credentials as an anti-corruption Caesar, based on his no-nonsense credentials, Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, is completely bereft of ideas on what to do. That is where we are. We can only but lament the situation. And then I think it's time for Nigerians to unite, to call a press conference and appeal to the animal kingdom. We are dying of economic starvation. Humans are dying of economic starvation. Humans in Nigerians are incapacitated by the economy. Animals should not be eaten.
Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Inside their mouth, truth to know day. Inside their eyes, corruption day. Inside their heart, wickedness day. Once they get into power, now when the time for gain, now in their brain, then we type one man will change. In the name of change, why? Change. They combine those with change. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. If they say make you vote for them, make you look well. If they say make you vote for them, make you shine your eyes. Oh, they promise us water, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. We not they get water. Yes. They promise us light, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. We not they see the light. At all. They promise us road, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. Jaga road we dey see. Yes. So promise then they make. When election done they come to deceive the people, they will they promise this and that. Then they lie on them, they lie yo go. Then they lie for federal. Then they lie for state level. Then they lie for Africa. Because they get police when they
Outgoing lawmakers in the 9th National Assembly and their aides will share a total of 30.2 billion naira as gratuity when the assembly comes to an end in June. Lawmakers will also be entitled to go away with their official vehicles valued at roughly 5.5 billion naira in total. Our Arise correspondent Omo Bazoe reviews the exit package.
When the 9th Assembly comes to an end in June, lawmakers in both chambers of the National Assembly will share $30.2 billion naira as their exit allowances. They will share the money with some of their aides. Investigation by Arise News reveals that the money in question has already been captured in the 2023 budget of Nigeria as passed by the National Assembly and assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari.
If you want to insist that the National Assembly members are taking humongous amounts of money from the federal purse as severance, then you must juxtapose it with the number of persons. To be also fair, you must also say what a senator, for instance, is entitled to as a severance.
The severance allowance represents 12.6% of the 238 billion naira budget allocated to the National Assembly, raising questions about the need for it at a time when there are strong concerns about lowering the cost of governance.
What you want to ask yourself is the 6 million naira, part 6 million naira that you are giving to Senator Abba Moro as a way of saying, thank you for a job well done, bye-bye. That is too much.
Nigerian lawmakers are believed to be among some of the highest paid parliamentarians in the world. With additional mouth-watering allowances that include housing, cars, and even their wardrobes. Despite all of these, Senator Gershom Bassey from Cross River State still believes it is not out of place to reward lawmakers with a severance package after serving the country.
If a senator is over 60 or over 50 or whatever it is, the institution should take care of them, because we continue to bear the name of senator for life. So, I mean, you know, you should carry the name with some level of dignity.
The 30.2 billion naira severance package for the 9th Assembly is 7 billion naira higher than that of the 8th Assembly, and it is considered by some to be on the high side for a country with some of the poorest people in the world. Governors are giving themselves gratuity. Lawmakers have their own gratuity.
Yes.
Ministers have their own gratuities.
Yes.
I'm sure the president will have his own gratuity.
Yes.
And when we put all of this sum of money together, you don't think they are too much for
They are actually
a country with very low per capita income?
Yes, they are actually too much. It's not as if the money is too much for what they are doing, but when you compare to how the nation is, the pulse of the nation, and you look at the humongous amount of money that is there, I think we'll say it's too much.
Payments of severance package or gratuity to lawmakers and their aides has been a practice at the end of 4 years in the National Assembly. In the Senate, President of the Chamber, Ahmed Lawal, is expected to receive about 7.45 million naira. His deputy, Ovie Omo-Agege, will smile home with 6.9 million naira, while the remaining senators will be entitled to 6 million naira each. In the House of Representatives, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila will be entitled to 7.43 million naira, leaving his deputy, Ahmed Wasi, with 6.86 million naira. A further breakdown shows that the remaining 358 honorable members will pocket roughly 5.9 million naira each. Equally troubling is that each lawmaker and some of their aides will be entitled to go home with their official vehicles, worth a total of 5.5 billion naira for the 469 federal lawmakers. They are also at liberty to go home with furniture and equipment, including laptops and computers in their offices.
When you are buying your vehicles, you pay for it over time.
Okay. What about the furnitures that are going to go with the fridge?
It's deducted from this money that you're talking about. It's all deducted. Anything you take from the National Assembly is deducted from the money that your final allowance.
So it's not like you're just cutting away government property?
No. You can't. Can you cut away? You can't cut away government property.
Only an handful of lawmakers will be returning in the 10th Assembly, but the implication of that is that provisions will have to be made for additional equipment as well as other furniture for the new intakes. Omo Bazwaye, Arise News.
In the meantime, I mean, Sulai, let's look at this. Beyond the emotions around the fact that Nigeria right now is in financial dire straits. And, some would argue, can Nigeria really afford to part with 30 billion naira? And that's different from what the government will be going out, home with. And, of course, like you heard Omo say there, the president will be going away with something. But really, I mean, I heard a lawmaker actually say, look, it's proper to take care of those who took care of you. All right, we now have our Rafsanjani. I want to see you on Newsnight tonight. It's been a while. How does this really come to you when you hear that lawmakers will be going home at the end of their tenure with 30.2 billion exit allowance? Does it bother you in any way?
This is very disturbing in the sense that cannot afford to continue with this waste and looting of public treasury. A situation whereby workers cannot even get minimum wage, a situation whereby workers cannot even get their salaries, a situation whereby our hospital had been predated, a situation whereby our schools, both primary, secondary school, and tertiary institutions are completely bastardized, a situation whereby infrastructure are completely absent, and for public officials, whether appointed or elected, who have a jumbo salaries and allowances and other government, to now be collecting this is clearly morally bankrupt.
ẹ̀yin ọmọ bíbí ìlú Ìwó, Olúpọ̀nà, Ilé Ògbóòta, Ọ̀gbàgbà àti agbègbè rẹ̀, ẹ̀yin dà ọmọ Odò Ọba àti agbègbè rẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà ẹ̀sùn mọ́ bí ọmọ ìlú Odídẹrẹ́ àti àyíká rẹ̀ ní Canada ẹ̀pọ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ Ìwó Land Descendant Association Incorporation ló ń pè yín síbi àpérò àpèjẹ ìfarakínra tún ìríra ẹni yọ̀ tá a pè ní Dallas Texas Convention 2023 ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì irú ẹ̀ Second Annual Convention lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà àti Canada lọ́jọ́ kọkàndínlọ́gbọ̀n oṣù Agẹmọ ọdún 2023 29 July 2023 ní Victoria Grace Event Center 2405 North Highway 360 Suite 2508 Grand Prairie Texas 75050 ẹ̀túyáyá kájọ péjú síbi àpérò ọdún yìí. Díẹ̀ nínú ètò tá a pèyàmọ́ ni ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́, ìpàdé ọmọ ìlú, ọ̀rọ̀ wúrí, ìfarakínra, ìjó, orin, wẹ̀jẹwẹ̀mu, ọ̀wẹ́kẹ̀ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Nínú àwọn èèkàn ọjọ́ náà ni Elder Abi Káyọ̀dé Rahman, President Ìwó Land Descendant Association, High Chief Sharafadin Babalola, Vice President àtàwọn ẹni àyẹ́sí pàtàkì míì láti fi ìwé pè. Mistura Ọmọbọ́láńlé Asúnramú, gbajúgbajà òṣèré tíátà lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà àti kọ́mẹ́dọ̀tún Akínpẹ̀lú, bàbá Yorùbá ni yóò fẹ́ wá èdè àti ẹ̀fẹ̀ darí ètò. Fún àlàyé kíkún kẹ́kẹ́ ẹ kàn sí +1 469 992 0020 tàbí +1 817 630 1695. Olùkéde Dallas Texas Convention 2023 Committee.
Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Inside their mouth, truth to know they. Inside their eyes, corruption they. Inside their heart, wickedness they. Once they get into power, now when to then go gain. Now in their brain, then we type one man with change. In the name of change, why? Change, change, change. They combine those with change. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. If they say make you vote for them, make you look well. If they say make you vote for them, make you shine your eyes. Oh. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Inside their mouth, truth to know they. Inside their eyes, corruption they. Inside their heart, wickedness they. Once they get into power, now when to then go gain. Now in their brain, then we type one man with change. in name of change. Why? Change, change, change. They combine those with change. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Then say make you vote for them, make you look well, well. Then say make you vote for them, make you shine your eyes, oh. Then promise us water, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. We not they get water. Yes, yes. They promise us light, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. We not they see the light. At all. They promise us road, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. Jaga road we dey see. Yes, yes. So promise then they make. When election done they come to deceive the people. They go they promise this and that.
Allegations of perjury filed against President-elect Bola Tinubu by concerned Nigerians to determine whether the APC flag bearer should be sworn in or not. This is coming as the Supreme Court will also take a decision on double nomination of Tinubu's running mate, Kashim Shettima. Justice Omotosho yesterday granted an order of substituted service on Tinubu after listening to the motion for interim injunction to stop Tinubu from being sworn in as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. At the hearing, the court requested that Plaintiffs' Counsel address the court on local standard of the plaintiffs and jurisdiction, which the Plaintiff Counsel did. The court eventually adjourned the matter to Friday for hearing and ordered that hearing notices and all processes be served on the defendant with immediate effect. Please take note of this particular order here. The court eventually adjourned the matter to Friday for hearing and ordered that hearing notices and all processes be served on the defendant with immediate effect. It will be recalled that the concerned Nigerians had in a motion ex parte filed last week alongside the suit merged FHC/ABJC C567/2023 alleged that Tinubu, who was declared president-elect by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), lied on oath about his possession of a Guinean passport. Tinubu was also accused of lying about his educational qualifications and uttering forged educational credentials. The concerned Nigerian who filed the suit are Praise Ilemona Isaiah, Pastor Paul Isaac Audu, and Dr. Anongu Moses. The defendants are the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, of Progressive Congress, Attorney General of the Federation, Director General of the Department of State Services, Inspector General of Police, and the Independent National Electoral Commission. The concerned Nigerians are seeking an order of the court to nullify Tinubu's candidacy in the February 25th presidential election. They are also seeking an order restraining President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from swearing in Tinubu. The litigants are making the following demands: a declaration that the deliberate, willful, and false information deposed to by the second defendant in Form EC9 of the seventh defendants, wherein he stated that he is not a citizen of another country apart from Nigeria, contrary to the fact that he is also a citizen of the Republic of Guinea, is a criminal offense capable of preventing the second defendant from being sworn in as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. An order of this honorable court nullifying the candidacy of the second defendant as fielded by the third defendant as it is political party flag bearer for the presidential election of the 25th of February 2023. An order of this honorable court restraining the first defendant from allowing swearing in of the second defendant as President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, and directing the first defendant to ensure by all the powers within his disposal that the second defendant is not sworn into the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for willfully, deceptively, and deliberately misleading the seventh defendant and telling lies on oath. An order of this honorable court directing the fourth, fifth, and sixth defendants to ensure that the second defendant is detained and prevented from being sworn in as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, pending the determination of the presidential election petition before the Court of Appeal to determine the rightful winner of the 25th February 2023 election conducted by the seventh defendant. An order of this honorable court directing the third defendant to dismiss the second defendant from the party for deliberately telling lies and falsely stating in the form EC9 of the seventh defendant that he is only a Nigerian citizen, contrary to the prevailing and availing facts that he possesses citizenship of the Republic of Guinea. An order of this honorable court to the seventh defendant to nullify and disqualify the candidacy of the second defendant for willfully and knowingly telling lies on oath to the seventh defendant in the form EC9 of the seventh defendant, which is against the sacrosanct condition precedent for being allowed as a candidate to contest the presidential election of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. An order of this honorable court directing the second defendant to stop holding out himself as the president-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria since he was ineligible and his nomination as the presidential candidate of the third defendant a nullity owing to the deliberate false declaration he made in the form EC9 of the seventh defendant before the presidential election which held on the 25th of February 2023. An order of this honorable court restraining and barring the second defendant from contesting any other elections in the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the next 10 years for deliberately telling lies and give false information on oath in the form EC9 of the seventh defendant. In another suit, I don't want to go into this particular suit. This is another suit entirely. I think they are going simultaneously, but I won't go into that because it is very long.
Nigeria is very close. Very, very close. As I'm talking to you, I see lights at the end of the tunnel. I see a bright Nigeria. You will see it, it will come to pass. Redemption is close. The battle of this new Nigeria is a battle against gross darkness. When you fight gross darkness, you need the hand of God. In the Bible, those that fought gross darkness, they saw the mighty power of God. But I want you to know that gross darkness, like Pharaoh, will not easily give up. It will not easily give up. This is why it is by the strong hand of God that you will see redemption. It is by the strong hand of God that you will see redemption. Our God is a God that tests. When you are fighting gross darkness, in most cases, God manifests himself at 11th hour. At a time when people think there is no hope. At a time when they are shouting, is it possible? From what we are seeing, we don't think the parameters are possible because people use their intelligence. This is not a battle of intelligence. This is a battle that the Lord himself, my Redeemer, will fight. I know that my Redeemer liveth, just like Job said, and that should be your language. You should speak and say, I know. I know that my Redeemer liveth. If your faith drop at the time of adversity, it means your faith is small. God is looking for men in Nigeria who will have faith, who will see with the eye of faith, despite what you see around, despite the fact that, oh, inauguration is going to come up, there's nothing you can do. The Lord said that inauguration is ceremonial. He said there will be no swearing in. Birth will not be sworn in. So do not be afraid. Watch and see. See the salvation of the Lord. You see the Egyptian whom you see today, you will see them no more. They will pass away. It will look like dream. You say, oh, how did it happen? That is the mighty hand of God. I can't give up this God. I know that my Redeemer liveth. Do you have a Redeemer? Do you believe in this Redeemer? This Redeemer is alive. He is no longer dead. He is no longer in the grave. He is risen. And he has the power. The power to put the right person in position. It will be is a choosing vessel of God to be at the seat of presidency. God said, but will near the corridor of power, but will not sit on the seat of presidency. This is the word of the Lord. This is not my word. I repeat, this is the word of the Lord. This is not my word. Today, prophecy. We have two prophecy and one instruction. The first prophecy is that Nigeria will experience Passover on May 26, 2023. I repeat, Nigeria will experience Passover on May 26, 2023. Nigeria is going to experience Passover. The second prophecy is that the wall of Jericho in Nigeria will fall. The second prophecy, the wall of Jericho in Nigeria will fall. The wall of Jericho is going to fall. You will see it fall. The third one, the third message is an instruction I gave to you. I told you that every day you shout, 7 hallelujah each day from Tuesday last week. 7 hallelujah. If you have not joined, join. Shout 7 hallelujah. The 29th of May, shout 49 hallelujah. On the 29th of May 2023, believers all over the world, men and women all over the world, men and women that believe in truth, that stand for the truth, that a stolen mandate in our nation will be given to the original owner. Shout 7 hallelujah each day. And on the 29th of May, shout 49 hallelujah. Speak it. Say it. You will see the hand of God. God does not give complicated instructions. God gave simple instructions to Joshua, and they did it, and the wall of Jericho fell. You will see it, that the wall will fall. That's the second prophecy. But let me go now to the first prophecy. The first prophecy that the Lord gave me is that Nigeria will experience Passover on 26th of May 2023. You may be asking yourself, what is Passover? Passover is the period when the children of Israel were instructed by Moses and Aaron for them to keep an animal without blemish, lamb without blemish, and spare the blood on the lintel or doorpost of their houses, so that the Lord himself, when he comes down, walking through Egypt, will preserve their life. That's Passover. Nigeria is going to experience Passover. Passover was a period in Exodus 12 where the children of Israel, they were able to pass from slavery to freedom. Pharaoh and all his advisors, Pharaoh said to Moses and the Israelites, go, you are free. You are going to see freedom on the 26th May. It will be a day of Passover. If you recall, in the book of Exodus chapter 12, verse 12, you will see that in that verse 12, the Lord himself walked through Egypt. He walked through Egypt and he killed the firstborn of every Egyptian, both man and beast. Both man and beast. That same God is going to walk through Nigeria on the 26th of May and is going to destroy the plan of darkness in this nation. You are going to see it. It will come to pass. This Passover took place at the midnight. It was at the midnight. There was crying in the camp of Egyptians. There was weeping. You are going to see on the 26th of May that there will be weeping in the camp of those who rig. There will be weeping in the camp of those who believe that there is no new Nigeria anywhere. There will be crying in their camp because the Lord himself is going to walk through Nigeria. I tell you the truth, you will see it. it will come to pass. That verse 30, we saw that there was great cry in Egypt. There will be great cry in the camp of the wicked in Nigeria. There will be great cry in the camp of those that are perpetrating evil, saying whether we reap or we don't reap, there's nothing you can do. We don't have power, but we have a God. We have a God. That's why I said, I know that my Redeemer liveth. My Redeemer is alive. I don't know about you. I know that my Redeemer liveth. If you believe that your Redeemer liveth, you will see you.